Hello, this is Christina with leadsandleverage.com coming at you live again. If you are watching this in replay, welcome, and please let me know that you're here. Let me know you're watching this in replay and just comment below. I love to know who's come, who's been here, and what questions you have, what insights you got from it. And I really, really love, first of all, there's two things that I love that you guys give me. The first one is you give me a lot of questions, and I really like those because then I can help you and I can answer your specific questions. And the second thing that I really love that you guys give me is you let me know that, hey, I did this, you said to do this, and I did this, and this is what happened, and this worked for me, and that's great. That's what I really want to hear. I want to know what's working, what's not. I want to know what your struggles are, etc. So if you're watching this in replay, even though you don't get to be engaged in the live aspect, please do comment and let me know those things so that I can help you. And I kind of know if I'm helping you. That would be great. And hello to all of you who are watching this live. I'm Christina with leadsandleverage.com, and welcome. And let me know in the comments below that you're actually watching this live. Let me know that you're here. Let me know, let's see. First of all, let me know where you're from. I love to know that. It helps me associate your name with your location and kind of where you're from and a little bit about what your market's like and going on and stuff. Excuse me, but the second question I usually ask, I ask an oddball question. The question that I have for you today is not only just tell me you're here, tell me in the comments that you're here and where you're from, where you're located in the world. But the second thing is, tell me about the book that you are reading or that you you're currently reading right now or you just finished. Which book is that? And for me, I just want to share this with you. This was pretty good. I'm a Brendon Burchard fan, and I've read the Motivation Manifesto, but he just released a brand new book, and it's pretty good. It's in a parable form, but it's pretty fantastic. And it's Life's Golden Ticket, and you can actually get a free copy, and I'm going to share this with you. You can get a free copy. It's Life's Golden Ticket. See down there? It says Life's Golden Ticket /friends. Go to that link. Hopefully that was clear. Go to that link and you can get a free copy of this book. This book was phenomenal. I got it, and it was next in my reading arsenal. I kind of keep an order of a whole bunch of books I'm going to read. But a friend of mine, she got it and she dove right in and she said she couldn't put it down. And she read it from cover to cover in one day. And I was like, okay. So I paused what I was reading, which is a great, fantastic book. I can't wait to get back to it. But I paused what I was reading and I went ahead and read this, and same thing. I didn't have all day to read, but I tend to read in the evenings for about an hour, and it took me, I read longer, but in 2 nights I got this done. This is such a good book. It's pivotal. It's a great parable. It's a business book, but in a parable. It's really good. I don't know how paused this really is, so we're just going to kind of wait a minute. So get your hands on this, Life's Golden Ticket, and like I said, you can get it free if you go to let me get the right link here. lifesgoldenticket.com/friend. So you can get the book there for free. lifesgoldenticket.com/friend. So that is, I recommend that. I really recommend that book. It's pretty fabulous. So actually, now that I've recommended that, today's topic is going to be about how to get people to comment on your Facebook business page without paying to boost posts. Hi, Amy. I see that you joined. Anybody else here? I know there's a few. Marie, awesome. Is it Mari? Is it Mari or Marie? I think it's Mari. I'll make sure. So welcome, you guys. Let me know that you're here. Let me know, because it doesn't show me everybody that comes in, but let me know that you're here. Tell me where you are located, where you are in the world, and let me know what book that you are in the middle of or just finished. I am like a book fiend. I love them. I'm reading more and more and more and more of them. I love reading. I just kind of get lost in my reading. But like I said, this was a fabulous book. So I want to make sure you guys get that one. So let me know where you're from, where you're popping in from, and let me know what book you've been reading. That would be awesome if you guys would let me know that. Fabulous. So here's the topic. we're going to talk about how to get people to comment on your unboosted post so you can get traffic on unboosted posts without paying. That's what they mean. Without paying. So a couple things. Have you guys been struggling with getting people to engage on your Facebook page? I'm just curious. Have you been struggling with that? Let me know. Do you struggle with getting people to engage on your Facebook business page? Let me know in the comments. Even if you're in replay, let me know. Yes, no, maybe so. You do something else. What are you doing? Hey, Kim. So if Amy, Mari, Donna, Kim, yes. So Donna's, yes, awesome. So I'm asking everybody if you guys struggle with getting people to engage on posts on your business page that you haven't paid for. They haven't paid to boost. I'm waiting for some answers. I'm writing more notes too. Hey guys, welcome. Comment below. I'm asking agents if you guys struggle with getting people to engage on your Facebook business page. Mari says, if you look closely, there are tumbleweeds rolling in my page. That's funny. Kim says, I only seem to get the most engagement on silly posts. Yeah, that makes sense because that's par for the course, Kim. I'm pretty sure that's par for the course. So one of the things, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to go a couple directions. You guys know me, and we're going to talk about what the goal of your page is, and we're going to talk about what your goal needs to be. But I'm also going to give you, some tangible tips on how to increase that engagement, because that's kind of a fun thing to see more people involved in what's going on your page, especially as a quote unquote brand, business, whatever. So, all right. So funny posts, tumbleweeds, etc. Okay. So the guiding question that was asked, it was actually asked in the Facebook for Real Estate Agents, group. And, the question asked was, how do I get people to comment on my unboosted posts? So I modified the question a little bit because we're looking for engagement of any type at this point on anything we haven't paid for. So it sounds like this agent actually boosts some of the posts and they get engagement on those, but if they don't boost the post, they don't seem to get any engagement on it. So let's talk about this. So that was my guiding question in working with this with you guys. I'm in Puerto Rico and reading The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Fabulous book. That is a fabulous book. That's kind of pivotal too. So that was the guiding question. How do I get people to comment on unboosted posts? So here's the thing. The first thing you have to think about is why. Why would you want people to comment on your unboosted posts? So if we take a journey on that question of why, I think, and you guys can correct me, please do correct me if this is not the case, but I think here's the why. We have this idea that if we put something on our business page and if people will engage with it, that somehow they're going to morph into being a client of ours. That it's going to be a progression, that the more engagement we get, that means more people are talking to us. That means more people know who we are. That means more people are going to remember who we are so that when they do want to buy or sell real estate, that they'll go ahead and call us or use this. Is that a correct assumption as to the why? Is that the why that why we would want more engagement on our business post? So I'm actually asking you, can you guys say, yes, you think that's right, or no, and then tell me what what you think is actually right? Because I want to go where we're mostly thinking. And in the scheme of this, why are we looking for more engagement on unboosted posts? Obviously, the hey, I don't want to pay for it constantly concept is there, but why are you looking for the more engagement? So do share that with me. Let me know if you've been looking for more engagement on your business page. Why? Let's walk that progression through. So definitely pop that in the comments and let me know. It looks like there's a little bit of a delay, Pop that in the comments and let me know. I'm going to drink a real quick water. Be right back. Let me know your questions, guys, or let me know why. The why that I said. So the big why that we tend to look for engagement on our posts is because there's this idea that the more people who are active on our business page means the more people that know us, means that more people that will call us when they have real estate needs, means that we'll have more closings. Is that the logical progression of the why, you guys? Go ahead and comment. Let me know. I want to make sure, because if I keep going down this road and you're like, no, that's totally not, then I just got it all wrong. But that was my logical. That's where I was when I was looking for that kind of thing. So that kind of engagement, that kind of, for that kind of stuff. So let me know in the comments. Yeah, so it would be nice to know that people are actually interested in what I'm posting if they engage. That makes sense? So Shannon, okay, good. So Shannon's got, so I'm along the right path. Okay. I kind of suspected I was, but I want to make sure. Yeah, Donna, that feedback, and there's also that element, that feedback that yes, you're on the right track. Just like I was asking you guys, that feedback is helpful. It's really helpful in how we're progressing what we do for people. So the why, we know the why, that's the logical progression of the why, but let's actually go deeper with that why. Yes, Mari says to know that I'm posting things people find valuable. Okay, so let's go deeper with that why. If we want engagement or comments on posts that we're not paying for, we're just assuming this is not ads, guys. We're just going to talk about how to leverage free, really is what we're going to talk about in this. If we want comments, I know we said the why and that logical progression, but what's really the goal? We know the goal is closings, but what's the goal of a comment? So I know that Donna and Mari both kind of talked about, it'd be nice to have some feedback. Am I giving them what they want or not? And that's a big one. And this is where you kind of have to just, because most people are lurkers, most people don't actually engage. You really need to know your avatar, first of all, and your avatar is your ideal client, who you want to be your ideal client, and you need to know kind of what they're struggling with, what they're looking at. And remember, I know that there are sources out there that talk about the average time people spend in a house are 4 years or 7 years, but when you look at like the Home Builders Association or Home Builder, I don't remember and outside the actual national statistics, it's about 13 years. The average person who owns a home stays in it about 13 years. So, and that is an updated stat. So in that 13-year period, what are their needs or concerns? They're living in the home. What are their needs or concerns? So we think about that. Those darn, Kim's like, those darn avatars again. I know, they keep popping up everywhere, don't they? They kind of solve a lot of problems. and us solving problems for them solves a big problem for us. What to do? Donna says, so they know there's a real person behind the post. Would be nice to start a conversation with people who like my page. Exactly. So, Donna, here's sideline tip. I'm finding I love Facebook live stream. Now, when I first started, because I started it right when they launched it, Facebook pushed it out to everybody. I mean, it was just crazy. And even now when I do it, if I don't actually notify my list or notify the groups or anything like this one today, it's going to be a lower attendance because I didn't send out any notifications. It was just the event on the page. So there probably will only be about 20 people on max at the peak. And then from that point on, it'll be engagement with you guys. So we'll have, it's a nice intimate group. It's not a big, huge group. So that's my tribe. That's who I resonate with. Yes, exactly. That's exactly, Donna. Not to be salesy or pushy, just to build up a relationship, to know the person who is engaging. Exactly. Okay. So here's the thing. So there is an underlying need that we have because we kind of want to know, we want feedback. And I totally get that. So we need to keep that underlying thing kind of just there. But when we know our avatar, we know what they need and what they like and what they want. And so we don't have to have that feedback as much. So knowing our avatar is a key piece of this. So what's the goal? When we think engagement, we think, that kind of thing, but really, I know we want to know that feedback, but what's the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is to get to the closing table. Let's just face it. That is the ultimate goal. You're not out there building relationships just so you can know a lot of people. You're not out there spending your time and money on your licensing, on your marketing, on your franchise fees, brokerage fees, things like that. You're not out there doing that just so you can meet a lot of people and have a relationship with a lot of people and get to know a lot of people. There is an ultimate goal, and that ultimate goal is to get to the closing table. And we can be altruistic and say, oh, it's to help people achieve their dream. You guys, we do need to focus a little bit on the why. We're not out there doing these things just because we love doing these things. We might love doing them, but we need to also feed our families. So think about the end reason. What's the end goal? A closing. That's the end goal. There's all kinds of other things that are part of that goal, but the main piece, the number one piece of that is the closing. So if we're focusing on the front end, if we're focusing on engagement, here's what's usually happening. Outside of, I'd like some feedback to know what people like. Outside of that, here's what's usually happening. There's some misnomers that we tend to focus on. We tend to believe that more engagement will equal more leads. We tend to think that more traffic will equal more closings. And those two things are not truth. One does not follow the other. It doesn't even mostly follow the other. And I mentioned this either yesterday or the day before or something like that. I can't remember which live stream. I've been talking to you guys so much. A lot of pieces overlap. But, when we look at highly engaged Facebook business pages, very highly engaged, whether it's in the real estate industry or out of the real estate industry. I don't know if you guys have seen this lately. There was actually a documentary or something on the social media elite and the level of poverty that they're living at. There was actually that how popular you are on social media does not equate to your income level at all. In fact, there were some social media all-stars who were they made less than minimum wage. And they just were not monetizing. They were not using that money. So when we focus on this engagement or social media as a conversation, we focus on it just at that level, we're not going to equate it to the closing table. And so that misnomer of engagement equals leads or traffic equals closings, we need to set those aside because they're not true. They're not true. Quantity does not equal quality. It doesn't. I'm not saying they're mutually exclusive, but I'm just telling you that correlation, causation, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So when we focus on, I want engagement on my posts, we really need to dig down into the why. If the why really is just so that you can figure out if you're communicating with people, if that's truly your deepest, ultimate why, that's a different answer than, well, I want to know what people like, but ultimately I want to get to the closing table. See, so different answer. So what we need to do, we need to know our avatar. That's our number one thing. Hi, Mary. We need to know our avatar. That solves all of our problems. So helping our avatar solves all of our problems. It brings engagement on our posts. It does. And it brings people to the closing table. That's number one. So you need to know your avatar, plain and simple. Number two, you need to be putting content, etc., on your page that your avatar likes, and you need to be putting it on often enough that your avatar will see it. So a lot of times what's happening is people put something on once a day, or they'll do it a couple of days in a row, then they'll skip a couple weeks, or they get this idea that, oh, I don't want to overwhelm people. But the problem is with the algorithms going on now and trying to get our business page out into the presence of people, you need to be active on your page. And that means you need stuff going multiple times a day on your business page. Plain and simple, multiple times a day, especially because your avatar is not on Facebook 24/7. They're on Facebook when they're standing in line at lunch, during work from 12 to 1. They're on Facebook, and that's an example. They're on Facebook in the morning when they're waiting for their coffee in the Starbucks line. They're on Facebook, you have to think about this. They're on Facebook when they're waiting at the DMV. That's when our avatars tend to be online. You guys are different. You guys are my avatar, and you're a little bit different. You're online a little bit more. But part of that is because you work online. You're self-employed. So, but most of us work with people who are actually employed. So there's limitations on when they can be on Facebook and when they can't. So, we need to be aware of that. But my point with this whole thing was our avatar is not online all the time. So they're not going to see everything that comes across. Facebook's not going to show it to them. So you need to have stuff being put out to them constantly, so that when they're online at 9 o'clock or 8, let's do 7:30 in the Starbucks line before they're going to work, you have something that was put on maybe at 6:30 so that they see that in their feed. If you put something on your page at 9, they're not ever likely to see that because they're probably not going to be on Facebook again until their lunchtime. And maybe their lunchtime is 1 to 2. See, the point is that the stuff that we put on our page dies. It expires in a sense. It expires in the algorithm. So in other words, our stuff is good for about 3, maybe 4 hours. So we need to have stuff going up every 4 hours. Now, with that said, there are hacks. There are hacks that you can do. And I've been testing several hacks to get some engagement. So if you're just really going to be looking at engagement, and that's what you want, I'm looking at my insights right now, and that's what you want. There are some things that I have found that work very well. Now, obviously you guys are my avatar, so the content of what I put on there is going to be different than the content of what you'll put on there. But here are things that are really popular, you guys. Okay, so first of all, hey Martha, live streaming. What I'm doing with you right now is probably the best way right now to get something out into your page, into the newsfeed of people. It's the best way to get engagement and comments. I'm asking you questions. You're answering your questions below. You're coming and going. And Facebook is really on a push to make, that's their big push right now. I was just on a little piece of Mark Zuckerberg's live stream yesterday. And that's what he was talking about. We have a really, really big, long agenda of video, and that is our focus right now. So they're going to get this out. They want to dominate in video and live stream. So you taking advantage of that, you could even just do simple Q&A, all kinds of, I actually did a live stream about live streams about a week ago. So that's in my video section on my page. So you can actually go through and learn how to do a live stream to leverage it. But here's the thing, live stream will get the most push. It will get the most engagement, comments, likes, shares. That's just what's going to happen. So live stream is the #1 right now. The second, as I'm looking at my insights, the next thing that people really love, and we tend to not want to do it, but the next thing that people really love, they love photo quotes. I call them photo quotes. Sometimes they're quote memes, whatever you want to call them, but people really, really love those. So if you can get some of your favorite quotes and put them on pictures and share them on your page, 1 or 2 per day, even one per day, people love those. They like to be inspired. They like to feel convicted in a good way. They like to share memes that they think other people should hear. It's usually like, oh, I'm doing this, but you need to do this. Just that kind of stuff. But they love those. They love those. People love pictures. So my point is, and I know that, Kim said the silly engagement ones. You do. You want to share some funny things now and then, guys. The goal is to make it a little bit contextual. So for me on my page, when photo quotes are awesome, they are. For me on my page, what I like to do, I like to inspire. So that is, to me, is contextual, kind of across all industries, because you're working to inspire people. So you want to inspire your potential future clients, give them that inspiration, give them that empowerment. So that's photo quotes. So here's the thing, you got to know this too. Engagement will always be much lower than the people who see it. It's something like 1% of people who actually see something will take action on it. So that means about 99% of the people will not do anything, no matter how crazy it is, how awesome it is. Just be aware of that. You're only going to get an actual physical comment or a like, comment, or share on general posts from about 1% of the people who even look at it. So there's that. The other thing, you want to make sure you're asking questions. Ask questions. I know people think that's just stupid, whatever, but you need to ask questions, and those questions need to be short. They need to be succinct. They need to be very, very easy to answer so that somebody could do a 1 or 2 word answer. If you guys will notice, a lot of the times when I ask you questions in here, I want to know something that's very easy for you to throw in. Like, where are you from? Now that I actually have an ulterior motive, I want to know where people are at so I can get to know a general idea of markets where everybody's at. So we've got Puerto Rico, we've got Guam, we've got Connecticut, we've got Arizona, New Orleans, different people. So, and I'm remembering where you guys are from, which I love. So I want to know where you're from. So there is an ulterior motive in that, but that question is really easy to answer. It's almost like people are compelled to answer it. They want to throw where they're from. It's just one of those things. And then the next thing is I'm asking you guys kind of a random question. Yesterday it was what was your favorite color? Do you not know how many people? It's a really easy question to answer. You know how many people answered that? There were a lot. And it was totally unrelated to anything. I just kind of wanted to know what people's favorite color was. It was a random thing. And today it's books. What book are you reading right now? Or what book did you just finish? Because I was inspired by this book and I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask what books people are reading. And there's also an ulterior motive. It's an easy question to answer, but also I'm getting good reading material. I want to hear what you guys have to share with me. So those are engaging things that are in a sense unrelated to this actual conversation, but in a sense, I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing to increase engagement without paying to boost posts. So that's the goal. But remember what your goal is. So why am I doing live streams? How do live streams, they raise my engagement, but how do they actually get people into my database? Well, with a live stream, there are a couple of things I can do. Number one, with a live stream, I love them because I can put them out there. People are notified. It encourages people to subscribe to my events on my page, which means they have to be liked, like a fan of my page, which means that I can run ads to them. Okay, so there's that one thing, which means I can send out call to action to them, which means I can give more value, which means that I can do it very direct. I have a very specific purpose. I can do the live stream. I can then transcribe the live stream. I can have call to actions to drive people into my database. The goal with all of this, the goal with everything you're doing, I'm building relationships, I'm nurturing, but I'm also, my number one goal, if somebody is not in my database, that's where I want them. In my email list, in my email community. I want them in my email community because I'm giving value here, but at some point, Facebook's going to make it harder. It's just all the way it is. Ads have gotten more expensive. This is going to be harder to get out. It's just the way it is. See ya, Kim. But the key is that I can leverage it. I can leverage it and I can give more. So when I share my thoughts on these and I'm formulating, if people ask me a question, I'm formulating good answers and they seem maybe random because I'm still in the middle of formulating and processing this question. But then I can transcribe it and then I can put it into something of value for my email subscribers, which means it comes out in an email or it comes out in a blog post just for them and a training just for them. So that's my point. Usually what I end up doing is I create lead magnets with these, or not with these live streams, but with the value to give to my email list so they don't have to sign up again. But they're already on, they already get it. So the goal is you want to focus on driving people into your database and building relationships with them there. So this live stream is kind of my domino for my training articles, for my training classes, for all of that. So it's my domino. And it gives me the added benefit of reach and engagement. So, that's really kind of how you get people to comment and post is you ask them, you make sure you know your avatar, and then you start asking people and you start giving them what you know they need before the feedback. Okay, so before they give you feedback, you need to know what they need and you can tweak it. I mean, as you guys have commented and asked, and I'm in the group and I'm listening, even some of the other groups where people are asking, if you can join community groups in your area and you can see the questions that people are asking, about the area related contextually to real estate, but about the area, then start answering those on live streams or in your posts or things like that, just on Facebook. The other thing that people really like from my page, my business page, it's amazing how many people will, when I share my articles that I've written, whether for Inman or Leads and Leverage, a lot of you click through. I will just share, and I don't say blog post, but I share the article concept, or I ask a question about the article. A lot of you guys, you actually click through. So I don't get any comments, I don't get any likes, and I don't get any shares, but I get a lot of people just clicking through to the training article. That's a big one. So I'm looking through a lot of these where I have like 0 likes and 0 comments and 0 shares, but I've got 20, 28, 32 people clicking through to read the article. That's what I want. That's what you want. You want to drive people to your website so that you can pixel them, so that you can give them more value, so you can, run more ads to give them more value. And I don't mean run more ads to sell crap and throw crap at them. I mean, all right, you liked this. Here's something else for you. Next. Customer journey. So you need to know your why, the real why. And I know we think the why is to save money, but really, what's the real why? What's the real why? Why are we doing this? Why are we driving? We're doing this to get a closing. So what do we need to do? We need to provide value along the way so people know, like, and trust us. And that's the progression of the customer journey. Any questions? Any thoughts? I know y'all are here. There's a couple of you here. I'm looking. Thoughts? What do you think? Is it a struggle in your mind to not look at that engagement piece as you're putting stuff out on your page? Is that a struggle for you? Welcome everybody who's joining me new live. I know people are coming and going. It looks like we've got a little bit better live stream, a little couple weak moments, but much better today. Again, Chuck got on the phone with our broadband provider. Makes complete sense. Okay. Got on the phone with our broadband provider, and they're getting things worked out, hopefully. It makes sense, Donna. So if it makes sense, so what do you guys think? I saw your question on Mary. No, like, and trust is a lot of work. It is at first, but then it gets easier. And is that a flower vase you're drinking from? No, actually it's not. It's a glass water bottle. So I have like 6 of them, and I fill them every morning. And, well, it's cable internet. Broadband means high quantity. It's like a T1 line or something. I don't know, but broadband means high speed. Smarty pants. Hi, Medina Carmen. How are you? Yeah, so no, I drink out of glass water bottles. No plastic. And ironically enough, it wasn't the environment I was thinking about. It was myself, because I don't want to drink the chemicals that come from plastic. Yeah, even though they're BPA free and blah, 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 blah. I'd rather just have glass. Any other questions? Oh, there we go. Angela's got one. It's going to come to me in a minute. Always takes a minute. I see it on the computer screen, and to get to my phone, it always takes a minute. So Angela says, making sense. Just a lot to process and work through from a newbie just starting out in the Facebook ad stuff. Yeah, it is. And we tend to, part of the issue is that a lot of times we're told to, look at our insights or figure out to get more activity on our posts, when that's not really our goal. Our goal is to drive the traffic. So our posts, our page, it's just a conduit. It's a conduit. So I'd rather have people going through there, clicking through, and then coming to my website, coming to my blog, and engaging there. It's awfully boomer of you. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer. I know. Awesome. Thanks, Medina. That's awfully boomer of you. I am going to reveal my age here, but I'm 45, I will be 46 in November, and I am a Gen Xer, 1970. Well, 64 to, or 65 to whatever, Gen X, but I'm Gen X. You know I'm an Xer. So I don't look that old yet. Yes, no, I like, yeah, anyway, there are a few things I really, really like, and I think there's some things we go overboard on, but anyway, that's always the case for everything, so everything and everyone, we all have our extremes, but not caring is boomer. I care about the environment, you smarty pants. I just said, ironically enough, it wasn't the environment that made me change to glass water bottles. It was my own health. So I just thought it was kind of funny. That's all. What day, Mary? Oh my gosh, if we're like, are you a Scorpio? I'm 46, November 9th. And I don't have it posted on Facebook. So nobody knows when my birthday is. And so people who actually know me will comment on my birthday and say happy birthday. But it's only like, a couple people who actually know that. I don't like the 5,000 happy birthdays that come across. 25th Sagittarius. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Scorpios rock. The 8th is, but Angela, are you November 8th too? I mean, are you in November too? Holy cow, that would just be crazy. Okay, so November birthdays rock. That's just the way it is. So Martha says, what one question would you ask when live streaming at a location in my market? Okay, so here's what I would do. First of all, it's not a black and white answer, Martha, because it depends on where you're streaming from and the purpose for that stream. I know the underlying purpose is all this that we're talking about, but if you were, let's say an open house, for example, you could do a number of things. You could definitely, talk about the house, talk about open houses. You could actually use the open house, show pieces of it and give a tour of what you can. If you don't have the listing, someone else's listing, make sure you get permission because you are live streaming it. And sometimes for whatever reason, so it might be security, might be whatever. So just make sure that you have permission to live stream if you're going to show any pieces of the house. If you're not, then you have permission because you're just going to show yourself. But all that to say, you could actually use those opportunities to talk about tips that sellers need to know when they're when they're actually going to have an open house, when their agent's going to have an open house. You could give tips to buyers going to open houses. And what I would do is compile a list of tips and maybe do 1 or 2 each time you do one. So you always have, hey, I'm doing this today, and I noticed something. We had some buyers or people coming in to look. And I wanted to share with you some guidelines to help you. Things like that, especially unrepresented buyers. And they, a lot of buyers just don't understand. They don't understand representation and they don't understand how what they say or do can and will be used against them if they're unrepresented. Sorry. So sharing that is really good. Now, Martha asks, actually a business where the community hangs out. So, for example, if this is a business, just make it somewhat contextual. Make sure it's near or around the neighborhood that you want to work in, or that you want to focus on. And I would probably ask a couple people ahead of time if they'd be willing to talk about their experience at that business, why they like that, what they do. So sort of like a business review. But ask them about the community. Find people who maybe live there. So like if you're at a coffee shop, it's really easy to talk to people at coffee shops if they don't have earbuds in or headsets on, because people like to talk at them. So what I would do is find a couple of people that actually live in the neighborhood and what attracted them there, why they come there, blah, 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 to share their experience, and maybe a little bit about the neighborhood from there. So I wouldn't necessarily ask questions of the viewers, and you're going to think of things as you're going on. So somebody will say something that maybe you're live streaming and you can just say, hey, have you had trouble finding a place like this too? Let me know in the comments. Or what's your favorite, if you're at a coffee shop, I'm using that as an example, but what's your favorite coffee drink? You know, how often do you go to a coffee shop? Things like that. You could ask things like that. But remember, like when I talked about this in live streams, you need to be on your live stream about 15 minutes. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes just to get it out there and get people engaged on it. So just be aware of that. So you probably need to have some plan in mind. But remember, things take longer than you think. So if you just start right out talking like a video, it's going to be faster, but you want to start right out. You want to talk to your replay viewers, then you want to talk to your live viewers, and you want to keep coming back, talking to your live viewers, letting them know to make comments. Make comments, guys, in the comments, things like that. So it's really kind of, it's contextual to where you're at and the neighborhood and kind of your goal for that. That's what I would do with that. I don't know how helpful that was. You can tell me. Yes, Mary, Scorpios are sassy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right on. They need to be sassy. Absolutely. Dating yourself as well. 85. That's still 15 years younger than me. That's not dating yourself. 30 is not dating yourself. 30 is young. I feel like 45 is young too, but anyway. The older I get, the younger everyone seems. Literally on both directions. The 25-year-olds seem like 2-year-olds, and I don't mean in behavior. I just mean they look so young. And the 75-year-olds, 65-year-olds, like, oh, they look pretty young. And then I talk to my almost 20-year-old son, and he's like, that's so old. And I'm like, yeah, I remember thinking that. Hopefully that was helpful, Martha. And I'll expand on that. I mean, just give me some feedback, and I can help with that. One of the things I'm so excited, you guys, one of the things that Mark Zuckerberg talked about yesterday was a concept that they're going to be trying to put into video. If you've ever been on Blab is another video, a live streaming platform, and it's where you can have like 4 people on at once, the video of 4 people on at once so they can ask questions live. They're actually working towards that on Facebook, something similar to that, where imagine if people could just, rather than type their question in, they could pop on with you on video if they want to and ask it and then pop off. It's like, ooh, I like that. I like that. So more engagement, more getting to know people. I love that piece of it. I love that piece of it. It's really great for me. Yeah, I like that. So you guys kind of get the idea. To get your boosted posts out, your unboosted posts out there, to get them out there and get engagement, you need to know your avatar. You need to know the real why behind why you want that. And you need to remember that Facebook and your posts are really just a conduit to drive people into your database. They're your conduit. So it's not so much that you want engagement on Facebook, it's that you want people to ride that pipeline through to your website. So that's the kind of engagement you want. You want click-throughs. You want people going to the resources that you're providing for them. And you'll know, when I look back, like over the different blog posts that I've written and when I put them on my page and I look back over the analytics, I know what you guys are interested in. I know it not based on likes, comments, or shares, but based on click-throughs. So I know what you're going to. So that's really helpful for me. So that can be helpful for you as well. Any other questions, you guys? Any other questions, thoughts? Oh, good. What do you think about, okay, Angela asked, what do you think about having a local business owner or employee do a live stream with you? I was listening to the Blogging with Mike last night. He mentioned that on one person's page, they have people posting some stuff weekly to help keep traffic driven to their pages. Okay, so, I'll answer the first part because the second part wasn't really a question. What do you think about having a local business owner or employee do a live stream with you? I think that's awesome. I don't remember what you're referencing. I'm sorry, Angela, but I can still help you with the first part. So yes, and keep it contextual. I'm a big proponent of keeping things contextual. If you're doing random stuff that people can't equate to, like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood of XYZ, there's a neighborhood here where we used to live called Riverside Harbor. So I'm in the Riverside, I'm right outside the Riverside Harbor neighborhood area. You can walk to this place. Let people know that. Yeah, I don't recognize that one. Huh. So you want to keep it contextual, but yes, absolutely. Talk to the business owner, but even better, talk to the people who are in the business, not the employees, but the people in the business. Ask them. So the other thing you can do is you can actually go and interview people, or quote unquote interview, talk to people in the neighborhoods. So if you want to live stream, arrange to say, hey, I'm actually just really wanting to tell people about this neighborhood. It's awesome. What do you think about it? And then ask people if they'll go on live stream with you. Some won't. That's just, they don't want to be on. But others are like, yeah, they like their little 15 minutes of fame, and they'll engage with you. And so between businesses and residential owners in the area, absolutely. That gives people a feel. People who are looking at the neighborhood, it gives them a feel for the neighborhood. It gives them a feel for what the atmosphere is like, what the environment's like, whether they'd actually want to feel like they want to live there. Because, we focus on, we make decisions for emotional reasons. And I know that there's some financial pieces on that, but our decisions are emotional. And, when you're looking for a car or a house or an RV, all those things, you make a decision not just on the logic of the situation. In fact, in most cases, we'll throw the logic out because we just love something and it just speaks to us. So just be aware of that. So help people get that sense so that it can speak to them. And that's perfect. Angela, definitely do that. And definitely engage with business owners and with local area people. If you guys, one of the biggest things that people could do, if you guys are really into door knocking, what I would absolutely do, thanks Martha, what I would absolutely do is start taking it a step farther and start actually getting neighborhood testimonials, not for you, but for the neighborhood. Become the expert of that neighborhood and start doing video testimonials, but do live stream testimonials, because you can save these live streams and you can then upload these live streams to YouTube, and you can put them on your website right from Facebook or YouTube. You can really it's not multitasking, but you really multi-leverage live streams. So, and it's nice. People you don't have to worry about the perfection. People like the raw, the authenticity of it. They like in the moment. They like being a little bit, of a, what's the word I want? We like looking into people's lives. We, voyeuristic a little bit, like reality TV. I mean, why it's so popular, I don't watch it, but it's really popular. And this is kind of like that. So people can do that. So definitely leverage that. So if you are into door knocking, leverage it. Don't just go out and door knock. Take your and even maybe live stream your process, your progress, but make sure you don't shock people. Don't knock on the door with the live stream on and then they look at you and get all ticked. Don't do that. But ask people if they want to give, if they love their neighborhood, why? Are they willing to share that with other people who might be interested in the neighborhood? Things like that. Hopefully that helps, Angela. I know Martha was asking for that too. So if you have any other questions, ask me. If you're watching this in replay, ask me your questions. I will answer them. And otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow at tomorrow's live stream. Okay? Have a good afternoon, you guys. Thanks for coming.